And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and I'm back with another video for you guys. This move is exhausting, but don't worry, I'm still here with the content. So today we're going to be counting down the top 10 cards you could buy right now for under 100k MT in NBA 2K21 My Team. Look, the end of the game is upon us. That's cool. We still got a month or so left to enjoy yourself or ourselves, whatever. Don't take that out of context. Either way, let's look at some cards that you can buy for under 100k. They can make the last month, actually fun to play, potentially. Whether that be online, offline, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's start off with some honorable mentions. This is a card that I don't hear really talked about at all, and that's Dwight Howard. Invincible Dwight Howard's actually pretty good, shockingly. The jump shot's not bad. Nothing about this card is bad. Everything's just mid. And you guys know that I love mid-grade, so this is perfectly fine. Dwight Howard is about as average and solid as you could possibly want from a center. Though I do think there are better centers on this list, which I will talk about specifically. Next up, we got a twofer here between John Havlicek and Dwayne Wade for honorable mentions. Now, the reason I have them both together is just because they're basically the same card. Like I said, they're reskins, right? Havlicek is basically a reskin Dwayne Wade, and vice versa. Now, I would tell you to go with Havlicek because I think his jump shot timing is just a little bit better because it's the base 98 instead of the actual Wade base, which I think is a little bit better. Wade base is a little more consistent, but Wade base 98 is slightly better. And Havlicek is also that inch taller with a little bit of a bigger wingspan. So, also, he's got mutton chops, which, it's pretty tight. Nobody rocks mutton chops anymore. I feel like we should probably bring those back. I just wish people would hoop in the way they used to hoop in the 70s, looking the way they used to. That would be sick. Nobody who looks like John Havlicek is hooping out here right now, which, probably says a lot about the talent pool in the 70s, more so than anything. Next honorable mention is Magic Johnson, specifically the Invincible one, but realistically, you could put any of them here. The Enshrined Magic, the Team USA Magic, it really doesn't matter. They're all kind of the same card. They didn't change his jump shot or anything. Magic's jump shot, it is what it is. Some people like it, some people hate it, some people don't mind it. That's kind of what you got to think about. Am I going to be able to shoot with this card consistently? If yes, if you checked yes on the box, then yes, absolutely go grab a Magic. He's one of the best point guards in the game. If no, do not. Grab someone else. Maybe someone else on this list coming up. Next honorable mention is one of my favorite cards in the game that I can't go more than 5 minutes without mentioning, which is Out of Position Rudy Gay. It's my guy, dude. I love this card, and the fact that he's approaching budget territory, crazy. This is easily one of the best cards in the game that you can buy for 25k. No question. 6'8", but he looks even bigger because he has a massive wingspan and wide shoulders. He's very similar to Kawhi, but his arms are even longer, I think. At least that's what it appears. His arms literally look like they touch his ankles. It's crazy. And Rudy has one of the smoothest releases in the game. Some people hate it, though. So, if you don't like it, it's not like a you problem. Some people just don't like it. You know what I mean? Final honorable mention is Zion. Although he is a very fun card to use, he is also a 6'6" small forward, power forward. Though he is a stocky guy, very wide player build. Either way, he's a fun card to use, but you do have to understand that most of the time that you're playing Unlimited specifically, you're going to run into people with near all 7-foot lineups. So it's not the greatest idea to run Zion, and you just need to know the risks involved, I guess. But he does have that Kobe Bryant release with release 37 upper, same as Fat Lever. Really solid overall, though. Zion's a fun card to play with. Number 10 is a card I bet you didn't expect to see on this top 10 list, and that's Invincible J.R. Smith. First off, J.R. Smith having an Invincible card is just wild to me, but I saw a thread of players who, if you just saw their highlight tapes, you would, to a person who doesn't watch basketball, they would think they were the best player in the league. And J.R. Smith has an argument to be one of those guys. Legitimately, if you just showed a J.R. Smith highlight mixtape off of YouTube to somebody who doesn't really watch the NBA, they would think he was the greatest player ever, straight up. And JR is a really fun card in this game. Number 9, Chris Bosh. No joke, Invincible Chris Bosh is really good. He's really good. His picture kind of scares me. He looks like the fourth kind of creepy member of a Motown Philly style music group from the I don't know, like early to mid 90s. What was that? It was something swing. Was it Motown swing? I forgot what the genre of music is, specifically like Boys to Men era, Color Me Bad type stuff. Like he looks like that creepy member who's always in the back. They can never put him in the front of the shots. But Chris Bosh is a fun card nonetheless. He's got that base 29 that you guys know I just absolutely adore. Even with Chris Bosh, it's a good release. I do think it's better on some of the guards and stuff like that, but Chris Bosh in and of itself is a good card anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Next up, we got LaMelo Ball at 8. Really, either of the LaMelo Balls could be considered for this, but I mean, the Invincible one is by it now, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about this one. You notice I'm not going in and talking about these cards very specifically. The reason for that is because there's literally a month left. All these cards have 99 everything and near perfect badge counts. Really, there's not much to talk about here. It just depends what jump shots and what like players you want to play with, you know what I mean? At this point, and LaMelo's LaMelo. Like, you guys know what you're getting into here. He does have a remarkably smooth jump shot, though, that I don't think enough people really talk about. Like, his jump shot is really good. It's base 38, which is the same as Eddie Curry. Next up is LeBron at number 7. Realistically, you could put the Pantheon one here too, but for purposes of this video, I will say Space Jam LeBron. They're about the same price, so you might as well go grab Space Jam LeBron. He's easily, if not the best LeBron card that you could buy for 50k, one of the best cards, period, you could buy for 50k in this game. He's basically an invincible card. I've talked about this card so many times, I really just don't want to. He's got X in base, he's 6'8", or 6'9", rather, he's even bigger. The LeBron upper isn't bad. You can find ones with like unlimited contracts and unlimited shoes and stuff. He's better than like half the invincible cards, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Next up, number 6, Penny Hardaway. This card is still one of the best point guards in this game. I really, truly do believe that. I feel like that's an unpopular opinion to say that Penny Hardaway would be a top 5 point guard in this game, but I think it really just depends how you feel about base 98. Because if you're not a big base 98 fan, that kind of eliminates half the point guards available. So, you know what I mean? It's really personal opinion on that one. But I think Penny Hardaway gets overlooked a lot when people are talking about the elite point guards in this game. Well, he truly is one of them. Fantastic release. He's 6'7", so he's big enough to keep up with a lot of the bigger guys. There's nothing wrong with this card at all. Like, he's straight up fire in almost every aspect. Try him out. I bet you'll like him. Number 5, one of my favorite cards in the game, Evan Mobley. No question. He's a 7-footer with a T-Mac release. Like, come on. You know what's up. Like I said, it's probably personal bias, but a lot of people do like Evan Mobley regardless. Like, Trey Burke-Base is a renowned, jump shot for a reason. Evan Mobley's near perfect, 66 hoffs, 6 golds. Like, he's basically an invincible card too. Like, there's really nothing more to say about that. He's 7. It's sad though, because like I was running Evan Mobley at center and he was getting abused, and it's just like the fact that a 7-footer just can't get rebounds in this game is absurd. Number 4, Cade Cunningham. Really just depends how you feel about base 98, and then once you get past that, so if you check the box, yes, I love base 98, then there's a variety of factors that will have you determine which card you would like to use at point guard at that point. Or you can be a complete psychopath and run like Cade Cunningham, Andrei Kirilenko at shooting guard, Hito at small forward, Danny Ferry at power forward. This is a lineup I have run into in Unlimited. Cade Cunningham's really similar to LaMelo. He just has that base 98, and he's got a little bit of a wider player build, but similar enough. Number 3, Invincible Dirk Nowitzki. I love this card so much. I literally like... Not just this card, and I don't mean this card specifically because I'm not purchasing this card because I'm just going to get it through Limited. But this, Dirk in general this year has been so good because they updated his jump shot and gave him that Devin Booker release. And this card is no different. Like, he definitely needs a couple badge additions. I believe like Stop and Go is something he needs, and there's like another like kind of important badge that you should apply to him for sure. I can't remember exactly what it was. Ankle Breaker, yeah. But there's not very many elite big men you can buy for under 100k. There's not that many. But if you were to run the duo of Evan Mobley and Dirk Nowitzki, I promise that you would have a good amount of success, for sure. I don't even know what player model that Dirk has. I wonder if he has the long hair. I'm curious about that. He probably doesn't, because 2K sucks. Number 2, Andrei Kirilenko. The reason I keep putting him ahead of Cade Cunningham is just because Andrei Kirilenko's player build is significantly better, in my opinion. Also, for whatever reason, the shot just feels smoother on Andrei Kirilenko. I can't explain what it is. It could just be one of those things that Cade Cunningham is a new player and AK has been a 2K staple for so long that it's probably just mental at this point. But it is something to consider. I don't know. But his player build alone, I think, gives him a bit of an advantage over someone like Cade Cunningham or Hedo Turkoglu. He's a little more slender. He moves a little bit better. He blocks shots at a higher rate. He also has shot blocking animations that are significantly better. You know, he does those tip shot blocks that I talk about all the time, which is something that's pretty nice. Either way, he's still an elite card in this game. Just because he came out a while ago doesn't mean anything. And number 1, Tracy McGrady. Now, I say Tracy McGrady, and I'm not specifying the T-Mac here because the OOP T-Mac obviously is going to be the most elite Tracy McGrady on current gen because he does not have blinders or steady shooter, whatever. But I've been seeing some invincible T-Macs going for 100K too, so I absolutely wanted to touch on Tracy McGrady here. That sounded gross, but you know what I mean. Either way, out of position, if you're on current gen, out of position, Tracy McGrady is more than usable. Like, he's literally one of the best point guards in this game, in my opinion. And I've seen other people express the same thing. And then if you're over on next gen, invincible Tracy McGrady is still one of the best 2 guards you can possibly use on your team and that you could possibly deploy. And to be completely honest with you, the radioactive T-Mac, really not that bad either. Probably wouldn't make this list or even the honorable mention section of this list, but at the same time, like, he's still usable. Just like Leap Year T-Mac last year. To a lesser extent, though, I will say that. Leap Year T-Mac felt better. As always, it has been your boy Cheap Ludes. I hope this helped you make some sort of decision this weekend and pick up one of your favorite cards. Maybe you didn't know anywhere under 100K. I don't know. I like when people comment that and say they didn't know. That makes me feel good. It makes me feel like there's a reason I'm doing these videos. Anyways, check the description for all my stuff. I'm going to try to get some MLB content, and I'm starting tier list tomorrow. Get ready. Peace.